For years, inmates booked into the Deschutes County Jail who are addicted to drugs or alcohol have been left to detox in their cells, only to be released back into the same neighborhoods with the same friends and dealers that got them there in the first place. And the cycle then just continues. Inmates could take advantage of voluntary counseling, but let's face it, the goal for most was just finding the next hit. The sheriff's new plan is to treat the inmate's addiction first, so that for the first time ever, they leave with a clear mind and a network of services to keep them from ever coming back.
Fentanyl and meth.
Christine Fodor is a 35-year-old mother of two, a meth and fentanyl addict, and now a felon.
I stole a car. I got my first felony from it. I'm put on probation.
Christine walks down what is affectionately called Freedom Hall at the Deschutes County Jail, released 72 days after losing her kids, her job, her home. What she still has is a drug dealer and friends who are still using. Odds are Christine will die of an overdose within a week, or be right back here within a few days. The Deschutes County Jail is also second home for Shonda Jennings. She too, a recovering addict, spending decades chasing her next hit of meth or heroin.
I've been where they're sitting. I know everything that they're feeling, the loneliness, them being scared.
Today, she spends her time guiding inmates like Christine out of the nightmare of addiction as a peer outreach specialist for Ideal Options Drug Treatment Center in Bend. She is the partner Sheriff Shane Nelson was looking for to turn previous inmate outreach on its head.
I would just do your release date.
You see, for decades, drug addiction treatment in a place like this was limited to therapy and mental health counseling if you could find it. Only then would that medication to kick an addict's habit be presented to them. Well, that just doesn't work because these addicts don't have that kind of time. They need that treatment immediately. Enter medication-assisted treatment, where killing that craving is the first order of business, not the last.
Once we can get them started on an effective medication for them to be stabilized, start thinking about what they want to do so they're not making decisions based on their cravings, their sickness, and all those things that are not allowing their brains to really process what a meaningful life can be. We're going to start that process.
And that process must start before the inmate ever walks out the door.
You have that small window. Either they're going to get help, they're going to go to their dope guy, or they're going to get help. So being able to help that person within the first 24 hours is huge.
For addicts like Christine, this new approach means new hope.
If I didn't have that, the chances of relapse would probably be a lot higher because my mentality and my body can't fight that addiction on its own right now.
She found that out just a few months ago when she overdosed on fentanyl just days after serving a previous jail sentence. A friend happened to be carrying Narcan, meaning she would survive this time.
Probably 90% of the individuals that come into our jail have an addiction issue, a mental health issue, or a medical issue, or a combination of all of the above.
The MAT program, Medication First, is where Sheriff Shane Nelson feels his Measure 110 money is best spent.
To help them overcome their addiction challenge, which is most likely leading them to a life of crime, or driving the wedge between them and their family members and support structure. So if they have access to medication-assisted treatment, and that's what helps them overcome their addiction so that they're not in the criminal justice system anymore, that's a win.
And not just a win for them. Let's face it, every single inmate currently in jail will eventually be released, and then they become your neighbor, maybe the clerk in your favorite store, the person filling your car with gas, or maybe the parent of a student in your child's classroom. There is no way to isolate yourself from this problem. However, isolation from their past is key to the success for these addicts, and that includes partnering with those who can provide job assistance, even temporary housing.
The data shows that they're arrested at a significant lower rate. They maintain their court appearances. They use the ER medical services less, and they show up for court, and they don't come back.
The National Institutes of Health confirm that in states from Washington to Rhode Island, up to 70% of the inmates on the MAT program broke their addictions and never returned to jail. Free again. At 35, Christine Fodor is starting over, looking for acceptance, hoping others can understand the struggle, forgive the deeds, and open their minds. Why should I be happy that my tax money is supporting a second chance for people like you?
I'm engaging in the community. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm seeing a psychologist. I'm taking steps towards my sobriety and my mental health. And again, that's all stuff that I got through jail. You can't judge a book by its cover. If you believe in second chances, we are living proof of second chances.
Every single inmate fighting addiction is now offered a shot at the MAT program at a normal life before they leave.
Does it mean that they're going to take it when they walk out those doors? But at least we can be there to offer it to them.
Christine took that offer and is now working on a job, permanent housing, and proving she can be once again a good mother to her 4-month-old and 2-year-old children. Again, the medication-assisted treatment program is funded by taxes raised through cannabis sales. And while Sheriff Nelson disagrees with much of what Measure 110 allows, the fact that it pays for the MAT program is an important consolation. I'm David Clue, Central Oregon Daily News.